Hi lovelies, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tangi and I started my life over at 50. So on this channel, I talk about my rebuilding journey, the things that I'm doing to rebuild my life, hoping to inspire you and encourage you if you're in the same situation to keep on pushing. So if you are starting over in any kind of way, this is going to be your new favorite channel. So, in the video today, we're going to talk about what it really feels like to start your life over at 50. I am 51 now, but I started this journey when I was 50. So, people love to talk about the comeback stories and the success stories of starting over. But there's some bad that comes along with that good. So, I want to talk about all of it and how I'm, getting my life back on track and how I'm really feeling. So, I first want to say that starting over at 50 has been one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life. It's been hard on so many levels. I'll get more into that later, but it has been hard. So I just want to be real with you about it. But I also want to share things that helped me to get to a better place. Okay, first let's talk about the embarrassment. I was so embarrassed that I had to start my life over at 50. And just to recap, I had to start over because right at the end of 2024, I was 49. I lost my job. I had a really good IT job that I loved, paid well, worked from home, all the good things. They had job cuts, so a lot of us got laid off, and I was one of them. So that's how I started this rebuilding journey, and that's how I got into the place of unemployment. And so, yes, it was very embarrassing because you feel like at this age in your life, like no matter what you're doing, whatever job you're on, you kind of feel like this is it, and you'll like retire here, and this will be your job to kind of carry you through the next phase of your life and all those types of things. So it was kind of embarrassing to be at that big age and having lost a job and having to start the whole process over of a career and what's next and things like that. So you look around and you see people are already set in their careers, and here you are getting let go from one and having to start over, and then just feeling like I should be further along by now and I should just really have been in a place to where I'm set. So what do you mean I have to start over? Like what do you mean I'm unemployed at this age? So yes, I was very embarrassed about having to start over at 50 years old. Okay, fear. So fear came right along with the starting over, right after the embarrassment. It's fear because it's like, okay, what am I going to do now? It's so much uncertainty with starting over at 50, especially after being unemployed. So I'm like, okay, money, what am I going to do now? What's my next steps? Like, do I go back to IT? Do I start a new career? Do I just take a job, a random job now, just to make ends meet? Do I get unemployment? Like, literally, you think of everything because you're so fearful of what's next because you don't know what's next. Also, wondering, what about my dreams and the things that I want to do? Are those things still possible? Because honestly, a lot of times when you have a side hustle that maybe you do have a dream of doing full time one day, your 9 to 5 job funds that. So I started thinking about certain things with my side hustles. So I'm like, it literally felt like everything was falling apart and I had no answers for anything. So, guess what? After the fear comes depression and discouragement. Because you have to think about it. When you're struggling emotionally, everything feels hard. Everything. So, little tasks. Okay, I do need to, jazz up my resume so that I could find another job. Felt so hard and impossible. Okay, so maybe I do need to research and see what other options I have in IT or any other, industry. Felt so hard. Depression came crushing down. I felt overwhelmed. I was mentally exhausted and I felt so defeated. Like I felt like I could not win for losing. So, and it's hard for your mind to even grasp anything good that could come out of this situation or that anything good was like on the horizon. It was just too hard to even think like that. You're so stuck in the moment of a crushing depression and just literally not knowing what to do. So then at this time, like my fitness started failing. And that's very important because that keeps you going mentally and even emotionally. I started gaining weight, and just overall in my life, I just started losing momentum in every single area. All right, so I allowed myself to sit and feel what I was feeling as far as like the depression and the defeat. I did. I gave myself time to sit there and feel that. And I knew I wasn't going to stay there. But I don't do toxic positivity. If I'm feeling a way, I'm feeling it. I'm going to feel it and move on. So I knew it was time to pick myself up and figure some things out. And one thing that saved me for sure is creativity. I am a creative at heart, and I knew I had my photography and my sneaker styling content creation that I do. And I knew that that was going to come in and just pick my spirits up even a little bit. So instead of constantly worrying, I started creating. And that's one of the good things about, I mean, you do have to dig and find the positive. So one of the good things was I had time on my hands. So I really tried to take advantage of that time, and I was creating. I'm like, okay, so equal parts finding a job and figuring out what's next, but also creating and keeping myself going because that was my therapy. Also, my side hustles, they gave me a lot of hope. Mainly photography because again, the money started coming in because I first of all had the time to put into pushing the brand and the marketing and things like that. And secondly, it became my main source of income. So you know I was going to put some energy behind that. So my side hustles honestly came in clutch at that time. And I also learned that sometimes hope comes from just having a vision for your future. Yes, I was in a place where I was unemployed. It was terrible. Honestly, it sucked. But I've always had a vision for my future, especially when it comes to my creative endeavors. So I took a lot of energy and I poured it into my photography. And again, it saved me. So what I really had to do was start finding the positive. No one wants to hear this when you're going through a hard time. Oh, look for the positive. Look for the what's the lesson in this? Like you do not want to hear that, but it is so true. So, I had to start focusing on what I could build with what I have right now instead of what I lost. So for me, again, I have all this photography equipment. I am a photographer. Like, what can I do with this right now? I started marketing my brand more. I started getting clients. I remember it was like around the fall. People started booking for family sessions for the holidays and things like that. I got hired to do like some real estate photography, which again, if I was still working a 9 to 5, I would have never had that opportunity because, first of all, I wouldn't have had the time. When I did photography, I kind of did what I could do in the time that I had, but now I had crazy time. You want me to go shoot your property? Absolutely. Tell me what time to be there. So I started focusing on the good things and just building with what I have now, even to the point where I developed the mindset of like, God, whatever you have for me, like, yes, I will continue to look for a 9 to 5 because I do love having the stable income. But even if I don't, I want my side hustles to be able to sustain me. And if this is what it's going to be, then this is what it's going to be. So it was like a win-win when I thought about it because I can have another 9 to 5 job, which is great, or I could just have my side hustles now and turn them into my main source of income. Okay, so now let's talk about how I finally started to get my life back on track. So I didn't have like this dramatic breakthrough, like I woke up and I had 20 job interview requests and blah, blah, blah. It wasn't that. However, it was my mindset that I changed and realized, okay, I have to fix my life, but I can't do it all at once. So, what are the steps that I could take? What are the habits that I can build? What is the discipline that I need to start putting my life back together? So, what I did, I started developing habits, good habits, and I started working on consistency and discipline. And I started taking small daily actions that finally started adding up. So, what I learned is it's not about perfection, it's about momentum. And you can create momentum by building good habits because one habit at a time, you're honestly changing your life. It doesn't feel like it at the time. Let's be real. But small actions make big moves, in the long run. So even though I was having a great time creating, I obviously knew that I had to do other things to get my life back on track. And it was just so overwhelming to think about where to even begin. And so, one thing about me, I love structure. That, as crazy as it sounds, yes, I could have like laid around for a while and spend my days just sitting here watching Netflix and chilling, or, kind of looking for a job and just maybe go to the coffee shop. No, I am a woman of structure. I need structure to thrive. I need structure to survive. So I had to build a plan to where daily, I'm not trying to do a million things. I'm not, but I need to do some things. So I created the 3 out of 5 method. So, what the 3 out of 5 method is, I created at least 5 habits that I had to do during the week. And I had to do at least 3 of the 5. So I'm not overwhelming myself to where it's like, oh, okay, I have to do this, 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 and this. No, I have to do 3 of the 5. So that may one day be fitness. One day, at least I ate one healthy meal. One day I did a life task where that could be like sitting for hours looking for a job. Fine. The next day it could be I did a creative task. I did fitness again. And then I was in bed by 9:30. So I came up with 5 habits that I had to do 3 of the 5 daily. And when I tell you that changed my life and helped me get back on track, I am so grateful for that method. And because that method was so helpful for me, I decided to just create a digital product with it, because I know if this is helping me, this could help other people to just have a structured checklist for at least 30 days of habits that you have to do. And then also kind of go back, at the end of the week and reflect and what worked, what didn't work, and things like that. I mean, it literally, before I turned around, I'm like, man, I really picked up some good habits. I'm really like, on a good path forward. And then it just kind of gave me motivation to keep moving forward and to keep trying, because sometimes you just don't even want to try anymore when you're like going through a hard time. But this method, and it kind of became fun, if I'm being honest, because it's like, okay, I need to do 3 out of 5. I did this, this, and this. Oops, let me hurry up and get in bed by 9:30. So when I tell you that method helped me, so I was like, you know what? I'm going to create a digital product because I want to help other people who also need some structure while they're rebuilding their life. So shameless plug, that control back method checklist is in the description box. So I just want to end the video by saying that starting over, yes, it was painful, it was frustrating and all the bad things, but it also strengthened me, it humbled me, it helped me to have gratitude and even look for gratitude in even the smallest things. It helped me to find joy in even the smallest things. And even now, my life still isn't perfect. Yes, I found another 9 to 5 job. Super grateful for that. But I mean, I'm still working on rebuilding my life. So before I end this video, I also want to let you know that if you are starting your life over, you are not alone. I felt so alone. I'm like, I know there's no other 50-year-old woman sitting here trying to figure out what to do with her life. False. There's a lot of people. With this content that I create, so many comments I get on people saying, oh my gosh, that's me. I can't believe you started over too. And so you are not alone. I want you to know that. Also, I want you to know this is not the end of your story. It's not. Please do not look at yourself like you failed. I want you to dig deep and realize that you can start again. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it helped someone. I hope, it gives you some hope. And I just hope you realize that you're not alone. And so if you are starting over, like, what are some of your tips? What are you doing? Can you leave them in the comments so other people can kind of learn? We can all help each other, honestly. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe because I'm going to have some good stuff coming your way. And I just thank you so much for being here. I am so glad that I have you guys on my journey with me. And we're going to do this. We're going to get through this. Thank you guys. See you next video. Bye.